Oh, that is me. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Mahalo.
Live.
Mahalo. Okay, aloha. I see people starting to join us. So awesome. We're gonna get started at Hola Eva. So yeah, thanks you guys for jumping in early, and feel free to go invite some aloha to come join us as well for our session. And I see we're starting to go live on all our different Facebook partners pages. Hey, Ānuenue. Aloha e kane ohe. Cool. Yeah, wow. I see we were going live on, oops, how do I get there? Thanks, you guys. I'm still I have all my different windows open over here. I'm playing with seeing if I can also try to monitor the live discussion on our Kānāwai page. So we're actually, we've been partnering, for those of you that are coming in, we partnering with like OHA and CNHA, Waiinui Akea. And so once we go live on the Kānāwai's pages, it starts to go live. Even OEV TV is doing this live as well. So we're really excited that all our partners are totally, you know, helping us out and getting this out to all the Kaiaulu and the Ohana. So yeah, again, really excited. And yeah, I see like almost 100 people jumping onto our Facebook Live. And here on Zoom, we're actually slowly filling up. So, you know, even for those of you that are on Facebook, mahalo for joining us there, but we would love to have you on the Zoom side too, because the Zoom side, we get to really interact with the chat and do some Q&As. But whatever works best for your platform, because I know some people are also joining us on YouTube. So yeah, just really excited to have everybody. And if you want to join us on the Zoom side, it's kanayookana.net/kakahiaka. So all the morning sessions are all at that same URL. You go to kanayookana.net/kakahiaka, and then the afternoon sessions are kanayookana.net/awinala. So again, just trying to make it really easy for all of our ohana that are at home and homeschooling. Hopefully, you know, all of these options through Lei Ānuenue and all the other exciting programs that are popping up help to bring more cultural programming into your hale. You know, and we're trying to find presenters for all different ages. So we welcome anyone who is interested in joining us. You can always message me on Facebook or email me at nobriga@hawaii.edu, and we would love to host all our friends to come and share. So yeah, I see more people joining us. So aloha, everybody. We're gonna get started in about 2 minutes. So yeah, go invite some aloha. Last night was so fun to watch the pop-up makeke. So if you didn't, go check that out. That's popupmakeke.com. It's supporting all the vendors, Hawaiian vendors, you know, a lot of them was supposed to be at Mayor Monarch coming up, or supposed to be coming up. But with everything going on, yeah, this was a good way to support a lot of the local vendors. So that was a very innovative thing for CNHA, and also all the partners to do that too. So that was really cool. So yeah, we see more people joining us on Zoom, so mahalo. And all of our ohana that's out there on Facebook, woo, aloha. And then we're also live on YouTube, so totally cool. And you know, we have some cool tech friends that are providing all this kind of support through Kānāwai. So mahalo for that. And I should turn off my phone. Okay, so wakani no kahola no leila e holomua kako, and let me get my slide here. Okay, so aloha kako and mahalo nui for joining us for today's Lei Ānuenue session. So as usual, we want to see where everyone is tuning in from. So can you put in the chat where you're coming in from? I know I see a friend from Kaneohe. So anywhere else, put it in our Zoom chat. And if you're on Facebook, I'm actually trying to also monitor it there. Let me see if I can see how that looks up on my screen. Oh yeah, I see some people joining us from Moana Lua. So aloha no, kahukalahiki. Oh, kainoa. I gotta read that one closely. Lena Peho King. Nu Yeleke. AKA New Jersey, yeah. Panaeva moko ke ave, aloha uilani, puarasi fukino, no kapa'a. There's ohana from Kapalama. Also from here in Hanapepe, aloha no e ko kawaii. Let's see, from Kahului, Maui, Wailupe Oahu, ma Kiawava o Palolo. Woohoo! Aloha no kako. And I'm not sure, I cannot really see the chat on the Facebook, so I'm not gonna worry right now about that. So if you're on Facebook, come join us on the Zoom, kanayokana.net/kakayaka, because that's where I can see all the chat stuff. And yeah, aloha tuho now as well. So awesome. Mahalo everybody for joining us. Loving it. Okay, let's see what I got on my next slide here. Oh, so we're just trying to think of another way to engage with all of you. So I wanted you to think about a kupuna that you would like to send aloha to today and just bring them into our live webinar session. And look, I get chicken skin just saying that. So can you put a name of a kupuna that you would like to send aloha out to today? Put that in the chat and we can, you know, send our aloha that way to all of our kupuna. For me, I think today I'm thinking of, my dad, Gilbert Nobriga, and then his mom is Mary Kahoy. So that's my kupuna that I'm bringing into our circle today. I'm going to unmute Ku'ulei. Ku'ulei, ovai ko kupuna.
My kupuna is my great-great-grandmother, whose name is Keahi Aloa, and it's probably from her that I get my Ike Pele from ancestry.
Yay. And I see some people putting in there, Grandpa Fred Dodge, Maria Ho'opionui, Ku'ututu Kuakahi o Grandma Kainoa, Kino'ono'oneo I Ku'ututu o Joan Ululani. So aloha in kupuna apau. Also, there's Louise Ka'ahanui Ka'upuiki. So yeah, really beautiful to have all of our kupuna come and join us. Grandma and Grandpa Punua, Ku'ututu, Henrietta Kawahilo, Tutu Me Keali'ipuni. Kalamai, I'm reading this on the other screen. Mauka'a Kaleo. Aloha no. Ooh, loving to have all of our kupuna in our session today. So aloha again, everybody. And I'm Malia Nobriga Oliveira. I'm just really excited to be here with all of you and to help facilitate an amazing discussion and presentation today. And I'm going to invite my tita Ku'ulei to do a short ho'olauna of herself. And then after that, we will hola mua.
Oh, okay. Aloha kako. Like I said a few seconds ago, my great-great-grandmother is Kiahi Aloha. And that's also the name I gave my daughter. But my current knowledge of Pele Ma comes from my in-laws. I danced with Halau Okikui since the late 90s. And I work at the Edith Kanakaole Foundation. And from that, I am involved in a hui called Papaku Makavalu. Some of you are familiar with my Hoa Hana, that's Kalei Nu'uhiva. She presented last week, I believe. And that was fun making lupes. And Hui Kanahele Mossman. And yeah, so that's who I am.
Mahalo, yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, we love Kalei, and she shared an amazing session with us about Kilo Makani, and then we all had our lupe. So I love seeing that on Facebook, like all the keiki and ohana, they're like running around with their lupe, and so it was perfect timing. Granted, today here in Hanapepe, I looking outside, no more too much makani, so cannot get my lupe out today, but that's okay. It's mahokau for that next makani to come through. Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna, so this blank screen means I'm gonna stop sharing here, and then I'll let you start to share your screen, and we'll hola mua with our presentation today on Kānāwai Pele.
Okay, let's see if this works now. Okay, hola nei.
Yeah, I can see that. Can you guys give us a 1 in the chat if you're seeing the screen for Kānāwai Pele? Okay, yeah, I see the ones popping up. So yeah, hola mua.
So one of the hardest parts when I agreed to do this for Malia was figuring out a topic, because there's so much things I wanted to talk about, and focusing in on one that I wanted to share. I decided to do Kānāwai Pele because I think it can be applicable to us today. And so I'm going to pretend that we're all on the same basic level. So excuse me if I explain even the simplest things, just to get everybody on the same page. And so with that note, let's go to just the, oh, it's not even moving. I have to push the button. Nope. Let's go to the basic definition of Kānāwai. And as we can see, a Kānāwai has a long definition in Puku'i's dictionary, but the main word that I want to focus on today is a law. And Kānāwai, in this entry, if you read through the entire entries in all the in the dictionary, there's some momis sometimes that pop up. And so the momi we find here is that we see some of the Kānāwai of other akua. For example, the Kānāwai ku is that no one might, oh, the chat is in my way. No one might lean backwards for ceremonies. And this is a physical Kānāwai because we know that ku means to be upright. And so to pay proper attention to this akua, we should emulate that and be upright as well. And so when we talk about Kānāwai akua in general, we're talking about akua, and let me give you a definition of how we at Papaku Makavalu define the word akua. To us, akua doesn't only mean God, because that might be the missionary interpretation of what that word is. We think, and we believe actually, that the original definition or the original meaning of the word akua is elements. And elements are anything that is gives us life. So for example, the sun is an element. The sun is Kānāwai. The earth is an element. The earth is Haumea. And so when you say stuff like Pele is the goddess of the volcano versus Pele is the volcano, or Pele is the eruption, or Kānāwai is the god of the sun versus Kānāwai is the sun, by shifting that simple word, by taking out the simple word is the god of, and just saying Kānāwai is the sun, it gives your mind, it lets you see these akua, these elements, in a different way. Yeah, so Kānāwai is the sun. Kānāwai is worshipped, if you will, ho'omanad as an akua, because the sun gives us life. And Kawilanui makehai kalani. He's not the god of lightning. He's not like Zeus wielding a lightning bolt and throwing it at us mortals. Kawilanui makehai kalani is the lightning. And so make that tiny shift in your vocabulary, and the whole universe, the whole 400,000 Hawaiian akua just opens up for you. Yeah. So you see it differently when you're, we've seen it on actually on the Alahulukupuna, when people drove past us coming down the mountains with truckloads of snow. So what you're doing is taking down truckloads of poliahu to build snowmen in your front yard. So when you see the snow as poliahu, it gives you a whole different way of looking at snow. And maybe you shouldn't take truckloads of poliahu down to build a snowman in your yard. But that's another topic. Okay, back on focus. So Kānāwai akua is literally elemental laws or laws of nature that that details the action or the characteristics of these akua and how these akua or elements behave in our environment. And knowing these Kānāwai akua will thus inform our behavior on how we should act when we're in the presence of these akua. Got it? Okay. So
mahalo. Yeah, that alone, I think I love that. So mahalo for making that making that clear, because it totally shifts. Yeah, I mean, like just how we recognize it. And I see some people are commenting in the chat that, yep, they got it.
Oh. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. And so this chant is a good chant to learn the Kānāwai Pele. And most of us, if you've been to the Aha on Mauna Kea, if you've watched the live feed, you're very familiar with this chant. And this is the version that the lehu lehu is totally ma'atu. And so if you're not ma'a, I posted the video here just so we can get into the zone and hear it. You can dance along too in your living rooms, get a little ho'ikaika kino going. Oh yeah. And so like I said previously, this is the version that the lehu lehu is ma'atu. But as some of us know, there are dozens of versions of Ka'au Pele. And so there are dozens of versions of, there may be dozens of versions of each chant. And this is the version that I'm gonna share with you that I prefer. And I prefer this one only because it lists all 4 Kānāwai Pele. So if we look at the previous slide, we can see that this version that we dance to has 3 Kānāwai Pele, and that's Ki Ho'i Ho'i Kānāwai, Kai o Kia Kānāwai, and Kua'a Kānāwai. But going back to the next page, we see 4 versions, and it includes the first one, Ho'okiki Kānāwai. So this version has Ho'okiki Kānāwai, he Kua'a Kānāwai, he Kai o Kia Kānāwai, and he Ki Ho'i Ho'i Kānāwai. And I'm going to go through those Kānāwai today in our Vala'au. And so let's jump right in. The first line, o kukulu ka pahu kapu a ka leo. Andrew's dictionary tells us that this word pahu kapu is a place where it was kapu to go or forbidden to pass through. And so in this line, what we're doing is we're establishing o kukulu ka pahu kapu. We're establishing these pahu kapu, these sacred areas. And leo means voice, but it also can mean melody or sound, like how we are chanting this out loud. It can also mean a command or an edict or a law. And so what we're doing is we're establishing these sacred areas through the use of chant. And what these pahu kapu are when we're talking about Kānāwai Pele is we're talking about the boundaries of eruption and the boundaries of the path of migration from Pele, that Pele takes from the west or from Tahiti even, and then she starts up in the northwestern islands and makes her way down towards the southeast. And we believe that Pele is migrating towards Kanehualani, who rises in the east and sets in the west, because Kanehualani is Pele's father. And so, let's see. And so, for those of you, again, who are familiar with the aha, we chant in the mornings, E Kanehualani e, Kanehualani e, aloha kawa. And that's Pele addressing her father, greeting him each morning as he rises. And so if we think of the Pai'aina, the archipelago, we can see that the movement, the migration of Pele is moving towards that eastern direction, that southeast direction. And so she's following in Kanehualani's footsteps. And this is what we call the boundary of her migration, of her eruptions. And so that's, I want to tie in this line, He ala muku no kane me kanaloa, because like I said, the migration is moving towards Kane and it's moving through Kanaloa. If some of you are lucky enough to go to Kalei Nu'uhiwa's Papa Huli Lani presentation, she gives this great, great presentation on Kane, the sun as Kane in the time of Kane and the sun in the time of Kanaloa. And let's convince her to do that, talk Malia.
Hikino.
I can do this one, but I'll go back to Kānāwai Pele. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention as well is that these this chant, Kukulu Kupahu, is not a standalone chant. It's found at the end of most Hulihia and most Kulia chants. And so if you look up, if you go through the Ka'au Pele and see a Hulihia or see a Kulia, you'll see this chant at the very end. And what Hulihia chants are Hulihia are catastrophic eruptions that'll change the landscape. And so whenever you have a Hulihia chant, it ends with this Kānāwai Pele as a kind of reminder, if you will, that these volcanic processes are cycles and the lands will heal again, which is why it's also found in Kulia chants, because Hulihia chants describe the eruption process. Kulia chants will describe the healing process. And so this pauku is also in Kulia chants, talking about the healing of the land after Hulihia. Okay, So we'll go on to the next line, which is the first Kānāwai, and that's ho'okiki Kānāwai. The word kiki means to flow. And we see this word in names like Waikiki, Kilauea, and it means any kind of liquid movement. If you look up the word ho'okiki, Andrews defines ho'okiki as to enforce the law. Pukui describes ho'okiki as to cause, to flow, to pour. And so this ho'okiki Kānāwai explains the very nature of the Pele. The Pele's function, or Pele's function, is to erupt, is to flow, is to create land. And this is why we are against, what is the word I'm looking for? We are against diverting flows or stopping flows, right? We had the eruption of Pahoa a few years ago, and they were talking about building dams or building walls to stop it. I know my good friend, Jim Kawahikawa, he used to be the head scientist at Volcanoes National Park and Hawaii Volcanoes Observatories. He has letters, and it's well known that they have letters of people wanting to bomb the flows, bomb the craters to try to stop it. When the volcano, when Pele is doing exactly what her function is, which is to build up land and to flow and to create land masses. And so we can't stop the flow because the flow will ho'okiki. And so that's this law. The eruption will flow. And it ties into the next law, which is he kua'a Kānāwai. And he kua'a Kānāwai, kua'a is, kua we know as back. A means to be lit. And so what I like about this line is kua'a reminds us that prefix kua refers to land. And we see it in land terms like kua hivi, kua lono, kua lapa, kua mauna. And so it reminds us that the land is a kinolau, a body form of Haumea, and she has a kua. And so anytime any of this kua is a, or anytime that the Pele is ho'okiki, or flowing on these kua, this land belongs to Pele. So anytime it's a, and that doesn't always mean the literal flow. It can mean that when a land has, it still has earthquakes because magma is moving underground. If you live in an area that has constantly surrounded by the smell of sulfur, yeah, you know that Pele is there. And so the land is active. And this tells us, this leads to the next law actually, which is kaiokia. And kaiokia means that the land should be separated. This land is noa, this land is actually kapu to the akua, kapu to Pele. So literally kaiokia means to separate, separated by the sea. But what reading the Ka'au Pele will give us a better, will inform us better of what this term means. Most of us are familiar with the Ka'au Pele, right? And so the basic tenet of the story is when Pele goes to sleep, she visits Lohi'au and comes back. And when she comes back, she orders each of her sisters, Eyu, hi'iaka i ka'ali'i, hi'iaka i ka'alemoi, go get my love Lohi'au in Kauai, and they tell her no. And then she goes down through her list of sisters, and finally to hi'iaka i kapoli o Pele, nana i'ai. Hi'iaka i kapoli o Pele is the youngest, is the one that finally agrees to go get Lohi'au, right? And Pele tells her, I'm placing this Kānāwai kaiokia on Lohi'au. He's mine. When I powered him, after 3 days, whatever, a week, keahala, then you guys can have him. She also places this kaiokia on her favorite surf spots. So when they want to go surfing, the whole family will go down to Puna, to Ha'ena, to wherever la, and Pele will say, this kai, I'm placing a Kānāwai kaiokia on this kai. It's mine for now. When I'm pau, you guys can have it. And so I actually think I have a slide. There we go. And so this is my lohi'au. He's ulumawahi. Shh, don't tell him I'm using this picture. But the actual
Beautiful picture.
the actual word Pele says is wala'a oi na'u no laila ke kaune au I ku'u Kānāwai maluna o he kai o kia. And so Pele also tells lohi'au, you are la'a to me, you are kapu to me, you are sacred to me. I'm placing my Kānāwai on top of you. And then when I'm pau, you're free to go sleep, go dilly-dally with whoever you want to, right? And so this tells us that the land that is ho'okiki, the land that is kua'a, this land has a kai o kia on it. And when Pele's presence is there, the land is hers. Yeah, so like in Kiahialaka, or some people know it as Leilani Estates, that land is still steaming. You can see the steam rising up even before the eruption happened. And so we know that that land is kua'a. The county or whoever makes the laws knows that that land is kua'a because they placed it in lava zone 1, which means we shouldn't have even built there. If we listen to the Kānāwai, Hawaii, if we listen to the Kānāwai County, houses wouldn't have been destroyed, right? It's not our time to be there because there's a Kānāwai kai o kia on it. And after, like I said, after Pele's pau, 3 days she pau at lohi'au, she pau surfing, she moves on, and then we get to this next Kānāwai, which is Ki Ho'i Ho'i Kānāwai, which we are all familiar with because Ki Ho'i Ho'i Kānāwai is a Kānāwai of Hi'iakaikapoli o Pele. And Hi'iakaikapoli o Pele's function is to return, which is the Ho'i Ho'i aspect of this Kānāwai, return or restore the land to its original state. And the picture I chose to put here is of a kipuka. And what the kipuka does in lava flows is it acts as a seed bank, right? And so when there's an eruption, the lava hardens, and then we have these kipuka seed banks throughout the eruption, throughout the flow, that will send out its seeds and help to restore the forest. And we know that the pioneer plants on the lava flow includes ferns and ohia and all of these kinolau of Hi'iaka. And so that's the Ki Ho'i Ho'i Kānāwai. Once Pele moves on to her next spot, once the migration moves forward, the land will be restored. Pele is no longer there and the land is no for us to inhabit. And we end with this last line, no Pele no ko'uakua lae. Okay, and that is my simple explanation of the Kānāwai Pele. But so before I go on, I think I talk really fast when I'm nervous. I always get scoldings about that. Do we have any questions popping up in the chat?
Yeah, and we'll actually welcome people. And I was gonna say, make sure you guys all probably taking notes. Look at my notes over here. I was taking notes. And you know, if questions come up, you're welcome to throw it in the chat, or you can, you know, as going through it, you know, if you have questions, you can maybe write it down too. And then when we have these Valao sessions, like, oh, I see a comment that they're loving it and they could stay on this for, you know, even longer. But I was gonna just make a comment about, like, I liked when you talked about the Kiki Kānāwai, the Ho'okiki Kānāwai, because, you know, here on Kauai, like I usually will share mo'olelo about salt making and how right now with the like over topping of the waves, you know, like some people have said, oh, we should build up this and that and put sandbags and do this. And, you know, and it just hasn't like sit right with me. Like, well, if this is the flow, I mean, first let's let the sand dunes rebuild itself naturally, because that's where it should be. Our cars shouldn't have been on the sand. So, you know, we kind of like was able to stop that. And now we're starting to see it come back. But that's what came to my mind when you were talking about, like, let it flow and we gotta see. Yeah.
And what I also forgot to mention in the beginning with Kānāwai Akua, each Akua has different Kānāwai too, right? Not only Kānāwai Pele and the Kānāwai Kua I mentioned earlier. And some of these Kānāwai are so ingrained in our minds, we kind of forget their Kānāwai. Like the most basic Kānāwai we teach our kids when we go to the ocean is don't turn your back to the ocean. And it's common sense. And Kānāwai like that remind us that we need to be aware of the elements and we need to know how to act when the elements are present. One of my neighbors actually told me a Kānāwai years ago that I thought was awesome. And it's a Kānāwai that was malamat in her family, passed on. And what she said was whenever there was snow on Mauna Kea, her grandparents or her kupuna told her they cannot go swimming in the rivers because that's when the mo'o are active. And you can take that as just the urban legend, you can take that as a family superstition, but there's actually science behind that because when there's snow on the mountains, that's when the runoff is extremely high. And so if you swim in the river, that's when the mo'o is going to take you. And the mo'o can just be something as simple as all the currents, all the fast moving water that's happening. And so Kānāwai really inform us how we should act in our environment. And so it's another Kānāwai maybe is one of the Kānāwai akua in our forest in Puna is you shouldn't be louder than the forest. And if you become too loud in the forest, that's when you're going to kind of piss off the elements. And that's when the mist is going to come, the rains are going to come, and you're just going to be lost in the forest. And so again, all of these, if we can learn all of these different Kānāwai akua for the places we live in, or even places we intend to visit, that'll help inform all of our behaviors and how to act in our environment.
Mahalo. I think I see a few questions here, and one is coming from La'iku. I'm going to assume this is La'iku that was one of our special guests on the boot camp the other day. And La'iku's, and you might have said this earlier, but maybe you can say again, La'iku is asking, and La'iku is a haumana at Ānuenue. How did you learn so many things about Pele?
Well, my mother-in-law is Kuʻulei Kanahele, and it's all from her.
Mahalo. So yeah, go talk to your kupuna. Got plenty mo'olelo within all of our ohana. And when you have these opportunities to meet people like Auntie Pua and others,
But
yeah.
What she also says is you have to be a practitioner. And you cannot just learn from books. You cannot just learn from reading about it. You have to practice. And my practice is I'm a dancer and a chanter. And so that helps to put all the information in your kino, in your lolo, in everything. So you can't just read about being a farmer. You can't just read about being a surfer. You have to do it. So go out and do it. Go out and kilo and read too. Reading is important. Look in our newspapers.
Yeah, mahalo. And then I see Aloha e Noilani. She's asking, Pili ka ho'okiki Kānāwai I ka wai ho'i he Kānāwai kane paha?
Can do. Yeah, you can apply it to kane too. And that may have some pili to like what I said about the snow on the mauna. Can pili to pili'ahu, and the runoff from the snow can pili to the wave action. Don't turn your back to the ocean because the waves will keep flowing and stuff like that.
Okay. And then one more, Kainoa saying, mahalo for this. It seems that we have plenty lohi'au that obstructs / distracts / diverts our attention and maintenance of important Kānāwai all around us.
Look at those pretty boys from Kauai. Don't get distracted by the pretty boys.
Okay, mahalo everybody for your comments and your questions.
But so in my description, I had 2 questions, and maybe you guys can answer it in the chat. What can these Kānāwai teach us about living on volcanic islands? Which I kind of answered it. So if you're paying attention, that should be the easy question to answer. Can I see the chats too?
Yeah, you should be able to. So yeah, if you can answer that question in the chat.
There.
Anybody wanna take a stab at it? Maybe repeat the question for them.
what can all of these Kānāwai, or one, maybe if you just want to tackle one, what can these Kānāwai teach us about living in Hawaii, in volcanic islands?
Let's see, anybody brave enough to?
Volcanic islands, what can they just teach us about living in our environment?
Pololei. Let's see. Everybody being shy out there, at least on Zoom. Because I'm looking at the Zoom chat. Oh, okay. Pele will flow and the land is hers. And after she is called creating, she will restore the land to original state. Mahalo e kapua o kalani. Kumulahela says, teaches us where our boundaries are.
Very good.
Any other manao? Maybe we'll take one or two more. Oh, pay attention. Yeah, pay attention.
Mary.
And then Kalani says, from what I'm understanding, the Kānāwai teach us the way that the elements move in the environment around us.
He's my student.
Oh, my God.
What Papa Kumakawalu at the Edith Kanahele Foundation teaches us too is not only how to look at chants and how to interpret chants, we have to know how we can use these chants in our modern society, right? And so it's not only that what we say about chants is that chants are timeless. The meaning that something that was composed hundreds of years ago was composed about the same space we live today. And the same types of environmental cycles are occurring, the same volcanic flows, the same rains, the same winds. And so if we learn how to interpret these chants, we can apply them to modern day living. And so in this time of COVID-19, what can these Kānāwai teach us about sheltering in place?
That's a good one.
Stay home, everybody. Yeah. But what else about just staying home and listening to the laws?
Anybody? You're being shy again. No wrong answers, just throw them out. It's a safe space. Oh, Laiku says it can tell us stuff not to do.
Yeah.
Kuʻulei Kanahele Laiku. Okay. Oh, gives us time to reflect on our actions, on our environment, and others. So pea komana'o e kule, like for what about, because I think we've also had people tuning in from outside of Hawaii. Any mana'o on that around using this to, because we see so many of our Hawaiians abroad, you know, and I mean, they're trying to also like, whether it be send pule for the mauna and for just things going on here. Any mana'o on that?
Oh, Pua did a good one, reconnect to our environment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was trying to get to, that we need to listen to the environment, connect, build your relationship with the environment, and let the environment and the land dictate what you're gonna do. So if it's time to stay out of the ocean, stay out of the ocean. If it's time to stay out of the river, stay out of the river. If it's time to stay home, stay home. I think Western society has kind of taught us that we control the environment, we control the land we live on, we can control our spaces, but we know as Native peoples that that's not true. And the Kānāwai Ku'a informs us that the land is hot. If the land is hot, it's kai okia, that it's not a safe space for us to be in. It's not habitable, is that a word? It's not, we cannot live in it at the moment, right? And eventually, the land will ki ho'i ho'i. And it's a cyclical thing for us. And so when the land is ki ho'i ho'i, then it's noa, then we can go out, then we can do what we need to do. But for the moment, it's kua'a, and we should just stay home. Look, everybody, yeah, make ka'in.
Yeah, there's some good ones. I'm gonna read it out because people watching the recording cannot really see the chat like we are. So yeah, like we had one from Chantel saying reflection and create our own stories on how to remain pono. Mele Folder says, be aware of your environment and pay attention to our environment. Al says, how to strengthen our body and health naturally. Leali'i says, for our ohana, usually we're so busy. Holo i'o a'ianei. So this gives us a chance to reconnect. Another one here from Chantel, create things as a reminder of these times to pass on things we learned along this journey. And observed with this stay at home gives nature time to heal, breathe, and grow. Polole.
I was laughing, Kalama, I was laughing at Kaino.
Yeah, clean house. Kaino says clean house. Polole kela. And that also provides a healthy environment for us because we got a clean house and get rid of all the opala. Pool weeds, invasive growth. Yep, in the house and outside the house.
Literally, physically, spiritually, everything. Pool weeds.
Yeah. So anybody have questions? And I think that was, yeah. Wow, that was really hoi. Mahalo, e ku'ulei. Just, I mean, it's so amazing how our Oli and Mo'olelo tell us so much in like, what was that, about 6 or 7 lines. Yeah. And like you said, they show up at the end of all of these Oli and stuff. But yeah, they inform us with so much ike that can guide us in all of these times. So yeah, so let's see, do we have any other mana'o out there? If not, I'm gonna bring up my slides here. Oh, so much to think about as we head into the weekend and, continuing in this path that we're on. And yeah, I mean, again, we really mahalo having these times to, just reflect with each other, to, like people saying, let the aina heal, here on Kauai when all of those floods happen, especially down Ha'ena side, that was a really big change that a lot of the ohana had to deal with, like closing down. I mean, even for the county, it was really hard, decisions, but it was really a breather time for the ohana and the kaiaulu too, to let the aina heal, but also let the ohana heal in that way too. Mm-hmm. So I think, yeah, that it's so funny because now we also saw when more rains came here on Kauai, in the same places, when the government wasn't listening, they just said rebuild the same roads because that's how it was, versus listening to the community as well as the scientists say, you know what, the river flows in a certain way. And so why are you going to keep, this is known as a wetland area. Why are we going to put one road back over there? Don't do that. But no, they redid them, spent millions of dollars, and so it just makes you go, okay, and how do we engage with government? I don't know, anyone not on that, like how do we engage with government to encourage them to follow these Kānāwai that we see documented, but then also some of them are already adopting it, like zone 1 for volcanoes, but they don't listen to it themselves.
Oh, here's a question. That's a good question. Any mana'o about mele, about Pele? That rhymes, but ends with Hei noa no hi'a keika poli o Pele. And so many of us hula practitioners know that majority of mele ends with Hei noa no hi'a keika poli o Pele. And the reason for that is that Pele is very, I hate to use the word destructive, but Pele is such a strong force, right? Delete destructive from my mouth. Pele creates land, and in the process of that creation, things get burnt and things get eaten. That's the word ai, right? And so we have to end that we have to balance it. So the balance of that is Hei Noa no Hi'ia Polio Pele, because it reminds us again that Hi'iaka's function is to turn that Ai'ia, turn everything that was eaten or consumed, destroyed by fire, into this ki ho'i ho'i process. And so we don't want to leave ourselves and leave the persons or the elements that we're dancing to in that state of eruption. We want to end it and oki it and put the healing process back onto it.
Mahalo. Okay, let me go back here. So mahalo for those comments and those questions. And before I even do this, do you have any closing mana'o for us as we come to our end?
I don't, but I really mahalo you guys for doing this. My son, Hikiola, who's 9, is drawing rocks from the other. He's having fun learning shading, and he's still, so like, I appreciate that there's different levels of activities, making kites, drawing rocks, having this kind of balao sessions, and mahalo ya'oko.
Hi, mahalo nui. Yeah, we're definitely trying to bring in all kinds of programs, and actually, you know, our Tita Ānuenue started a thing about how we color Easter eggs naturally and stuff. And so I was like, ooh, we got to do that real soon, like next week already, and try to bring in some guest speakers around that. So I'm going to work on that today, and see if we can bring on maybe Kaiu Odom or Kim Bernie to do some of that, because we know people are already doing it, you know. And so how do we continue to bring these kinds of practices into our hale? So yeah, I'm gonna work on that and try to get that up really soon. But I wanted to ask everyone a big favor, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or here on Zoom with us, if you can help us by answering a few questions. Again, it takes you about maybe a minute or two. There's just about 6 questions on there. Quick mana'o, and then what are some of your interests, like around topic areas. And yeah, we would love to have your feedback there. And then I wanted to let you guys know that our upcoming Lei Ānuenue episodes, you can get them online. You can find out descriptions and timing and all of that at kanaiokana.net/lei. And later today at 2 p.m., I hope you guys come back, because we're gonna have a Papa Mele Kahiki. Should be fun with Vi Flores and Keua Kane'akua. They're both here in Kauai from Anahola. And they have 2 original mele that they wrote. And they're gonna be sharing it. They got all the chords and, you know, getting that PDF ready for you guys. So go get your ukulele or your patapata, you know, the banjo. If you wanna play along, if you like bring your drums too, you can. But yeah, Vai and Keua will be doing that at 2 p.m. And then tomorrow, our special guest is Anakala Kimo Alama Keolana. He will be doing a Papa Mele for us as well. And so we hope you guys decide to come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. And we'll be here. And so again, our afternoon sessions, you can join us at kanaiokana.net/awinala. And then our morning sessions are always kanaiokana.net/kakahiaka. So please come back and join us, and let other Ohana members know if they want to learn some new mele. You know, you can come join us then, especially during the live sessions. We love having people join us during the live. So go put them in your schedule too. Lei Ānuenue is usually Tuesdays, 9 a.m. and 2 p.m., Thursdays, 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and Fridays, 9 a.m. So again, a big mahalo to Ku'ulei and to all of our partners that are helping us live stream this. Stay connected with us with Kanaio Kana on Facebook. You can follow us, turn on the notifications so you know when that's happening. We're also on Instagram. Come and follow us there. And our website is kanaeokana.net, where you can learn about all the kula Hawaii. And I'll also share with you that vaihona.net is also a resource where all of this is being shared. And we launched, did a soft launch, and we're asking all of our kumus and others to help us fill it up with amazing resources, you know, so that as teachers or as family members who are looking for things around a different topic area, they can go to vaihona.net and check us out there. So I think, yeah, that's the ending of our episode for today. And again, mahalo to our tech team that is always helping this run really smoothly, and to all of our partners again, and hope you all come back and join us. Lamai kai a oko pakahi, aloha.